because during the storm, there were 20 or 30 residents at any time who came to the hospital because they had nowhere else to go.
We serve over 1,000 people a day, just the community, not including the hospital staff and the patients.
We did laundry for the local jail.
We're hidden warriors, basically, behind the scenes to keep everything up and running.
As we got wind of the storm approaching off the coast of North and South Carolina, and I guess even Florida, we, as we normally do through our emergency operations management plan and preparations, began to pay attention to it.
In our planning, we discuss how do we get by if, and that is something that we do every year. We all sit around the table and we talk about the horrible scenarios, and then we what if it to death. We take the scenario of, okay, there's a hurricane, and what if, we get cut off and people can't get here, and what if we lose power?
We started to ramp up our inventory with ordering and making sure we had extra supplies on hand, extra water, paper supplies, things of that nature.
According to the meteorologist, it was supposed to come to the coast and turn and go back out and not bother us.
We felt good about it, although we had met and prepared ourselves for additional staff to be here just in the event it happened. And lo and behold, I'm glad we did, because on Saturday things were pretty devastating.
The electrician and the maintenance guy that was on call that night, they worked the entire night, stayed up the entire night. About 18 hours he was awake and working to keep the hospital running.
Things were getting pretty significant out there. The flooding in outer Wayne County was starting to get very severe. We eventually had got called in for an emergency surgery case, and thankfully our generators were working.
During the hurricane itself, there was a lot of patients that, to a certain degree, were not necessarily sick to the point where they needed a lot of medical treatment, but the biggest thing that they needed was just to be spoken to.
We just tried to calm them down and make jokes, keep them laughing, and get their minds off of it.
Some were amazing, getting to and from work to come here and help other folks when a lot of them had issues of their own that they should have been trying to deal with, or they needed to deal with.
We had an engineering employee who had come to work an additional shift on the weekend, would not have been his normal assignment, and had worked through his shift to get home and find out that his home had flooded out.
I had a lot of staff that worked 12 and 13-hour shifts, and it wasn't just for my department either. I had people from our HR, people from the ER, I had surgeons and doctors down here serving the line.
He called back in a few hours again and said that no taxis or transportation was running in Fayetteville, and that because he had lost his things and his transportation, he didn't have a way to get to work, that he was on his bicycle because he lived a few miles from here, and that he would be there shortly.
The fire marshal came to my home and told us that we had to evacuate. That was Sunday evening, and that Monday I was at work. I only grabbed enough clothes for like 2 days because I thought that's all we were going to be, was out of our home for like 2 days. But actually 2 days turned into like 7 days.
Somebody needed to be here, and I did not want him to stay overnight because I had a 24-hour shift before. I know how hard it is.
Well, I was scheduled to work Saturday from 8 to 4:30, and I ended up staying over a week up here.
The employees here at the hospital, they were actually watching Facebook Live, and they were seeing that their family members were in a lot of distress, and they could not do anything but just watch. And unfortunately, of course, they lost some of their family members. And, so it wasn't only taking care of patients, but it was also consoling the employees that were here as well.
Well, it's always been a family since I was employed here. I always had that feeling it's a family. But I was shocked the way it turned out. I mean, they fed us, they clothed us, they let us stay here. I mean, it was like home to me. I even had my quilt, so I know I was at home.
I think we did great. I think that overall You know, when it comes to being open and being available and knowing what we have to do for the people in our community, every hospital bent over backwards.
Well, it shows that we really mean what we say, and you know, that every penny that the hospital takes in to keep their beds and their lights on and everything in good working order and everything for patient safety really does count.
Hospitals that function 24 hours go beyond just clocking in and clocking out getting paid. They go for the sense of the reason we all got into healthcare, and that's to take care of others.
EMS people bring people to the emergency rooms. We don't know exactly what they had been before coming here. That was the real experience to really be in their shoes and see how they suffer. And not only them, but EMS people, what effort they make to keep people safe and bring them to the places where they need, where they get help.
Through it all, I can tell you that it was amazing watching the staff, because there was never once a question that we were going to take care of every patient in every way possible.
We're here to take care of people, and people get sick 24 hours out of a day, and so that's what we do.